What is the nature of work that you will get to do if you are looking to, work in these areas? What is the kind of work? Compliance and regulation, we discussed this. Okay, wherever you are, you have to ensure that certain compliance requirements are met. You are required to register at some places, and when you are registering, you have to maintain certain things, like intermediaries who are registered with SEBI, for example, have to maintain a certain level of capital. They have to have a compliance officer in place. They have to, the banks or NBFCs who are registered with RBI, they have to file specific returns. This is very heavy in fintech, right? Because of the fact that you can have public money involved. So compliance and regulation is big when you are looking at fintech kind of industries or companies. Contracts applies across the board in any way, everything. But like I said, in these cases, it will become very, very relevant, because when you're looking at things which are based off or connected off on the internet, there will be cross-border contracts. Okay, and when there are cross-border contracts, you have to look at a lot of different things. Okay, because the enforceability of those contracts will be kind of, you will have to think of, and it can be multiple different types of contracts, like, it can be service related contracts, it can be intellectual property related contracts. Okay. So it can be creation, like, product development of a product, or work related kind of contracts, that you will you will create specific products for someone. Okay, things like that. Okay, so developing specific software, specific websites, all of that, customized work related contracts. Okay, can be a lot of different types of contracts which are covered when you're looking at the technology law area. And you would have to think, because in many cases this can be cross border contracts, so you will have to look from that perspective. You can't just simply look at what is the kind of service or product that is provided and what is the payment being made for that. That will not be the only factor that will be relevant. Okay, enforceability in each and everything will have to be thought of. Dispute resolution will have to be thought of in each and every kind of contract. Offenses and dispute. Offenses, yes, like, where you're looking basically at offenses which are under the Information Technology Act, or offenses which are under Consumer Protection Act, for instances, or offenses which are under, like, the Banking Regulation Act and Payment and Settlement Systems Act, things like that. Okay, so offenses which are under these laws, you will have to think of that. Violation of the laws. Okay, disputes. And like I said, when it tends to be cross border, your disputes will, like, you will have to think very elaborately on what you will do if there is a dispute, or there is something which crops up between the parties and they are not willing to go on with the contract. How are you going to proceed? Someone is not, like, complying with their obligations. Okay, then how would you proceed? So disputes is something which will have to be thought of very elaborately when it comes to cross border contracts. Policy advocacy. What is policy advocacy? And why technology? Why relevant in technology? Because it can be very, very, it can become a bit controversial, isn't it? Like, when you're talking of laws which become applicable for privacy, and then you are thinking of what kind of data can become available, then you see people who are against that kind of, breach of privacy or intrusion of privacy. It may be legal, but people are not in favor of that, and then they kind of, maybe file petitions against that, bringing Internet of Things into India, and, like, people are not agreeable with how that works, and that can't be done, things like that. Policy advocacy. FDI, when it became applicable usually to, like, e-commerce companies, then there was uproar that, they are not really, it's not really good, because you may be kind of damaging even the local vendors' prospects when you make them limited to only 25% on each of the platforms. Then you may be impacting that, and you may be shying away, you may be driving away foreign investors when you do that. So policy advocacy is something also which can crop up usually in technology, because as new things come in, then regulation of OTT and gaming service providers. So when things start to get on the Netflixes and on gaming portals, which are really not suitable for specific kind of viewers, and there is no regulation that is applicable to them, then people start and urge the government that please bring in regulation for that. Okay, so to bring policy in, or if a policy has been brought in, then someone is opposing that policy. So that is the policy advocacy basically. Okay, and it can come here because as new things crop up, government will have to think of what are the new laws that they would have to bring in. Okay, so and what are the changes they will have to make as things change. I mean, think of this, like, someone is able to operate things inside your home from somewhere else. I particularly remember seeing one episode of Big Bang Theory, and it is in that, like, the guys are sitting there and they are seeing, they're doing something over the internet. Okay, and suddenly they'll say 1 2 3 and the light closes. Okay, and then what they're saying is that someone sitting in this country is actually operating this, right? So they have cars, remote control driven cars, which suddenly start to move, and someone sitting in other countries is operating them, and they are operating the home systems of people who are in other countries. So these kinds of things can suddenly become very intrusive. Like, think of it, someone can enter and move things inside your home sitting from some other countries. It's very fantastic, but who knows, these kinds of things may not be very far, like it is right there, right? So policy advocacy can be on technologies which are like this.